As we continue to await the seismic disaster that is forming for Doctor Who Series 11, more stories of idiocy from the production team continue to come to light. Digital Spy has been pretty busy this week after heading to Cardiff to interview the people that are busy dismantling a 55-year-old franchise. Amongst other things, it appears Chibnall has forgotten that the show is supposed to be about science fiction, or more precisely, science fantasy. While most fans, for example, don't have a problem with different sexual orientations, why does this need to be a focus? Again, this is no longer Doctor Who. It's a Doctor Who-themed progressive movement. The show we've loved is over, and we can't criticize any facet of the new regime without being called sexist and racist bigots. I don't know about you, but this sure makes me want to make watching Series 11 a top priority. That's sarcasm, by the way, as I know some of my most vocal critics don't seem to understand the concept of humor. Matt Strevens claimed that sexual identity politics is not made, quote, an issue of in any way. He then contradicts himself by saying that, quote, there will be LGBT representation in the main cast of Series 11, and there will be characters from across the spectrum. Sounds like making an issue out of it to me. Chibnall states, quote, there are a lot of LGBT characters on the show. Obviously, last year we had Bill on the show, but in terms of sexuality, it's not often necessarily a thing you go to in a Doctor Who story. No, except for when Bill had to remind the audience of her sexual orientation at every opportunity. Then, apparently, Jodie Whittaker, quote, teased that the issues will play a significant part in the new series. Chibnall, when pushed on how these issues will manifest, said, quote, you just got to see how these stories play out. This doesn't sound like not making an issue out of it to me. We've also learned that Chibnall wanted to change how audiences perceive Doctor Who. Well, he's definitely done that. For example, I remember a time, not long ago, when I'd actually be excited for an upcoming season of Doctor Who. Chibnall reportedly told Bradley Walsh that, quote, this journey we're going to go on, it will be fantastic. We've got a whole new team. Yes, Chibnall, because you fired everyone. Quote, we don't know how it's going to come out. Well, that's encouraging. We're going to give it a new platform. I think you mean a platform to push agendas that have nothing to do with the show. It might miss. It might hit. Well, Chibnall, generally those who would want to make something successful would aim to make it a hit. But I guess you're not really interested in making quality TV. But it's going to be a journey, and we're going to change it. Good Lord. Then there's this article. It was reported a while ago that Chibnall wanted to cast a female doctor from the beginning. Now we learn that he made it a condition of his taking on the role of showrunner. The arrogance here is actually kind of staggering, but also somewhat humorous. Chibnall states, quote, it felt like a straightforward decision. It's not that controversial. It's hard to think of many examples in its 55-year history where the Doctor takes a decision based on gender. Well then, Chibnall, why did you decide to make a decision based on gender? Matt Strevens adds, quote, we knew in our gut it was about time, and it felt like the right decision. And the character is not gender specific in any way. If there ever was a character that was never really defined by gender, it's the Doctor. The Doctor is gender fluid in that sense. Progressive language, if ever I heard it. Again, I don't care what your gender identity is, but why do you have to make it a focus? Clueless. Absolutely clueless. Also, why was it time? Is this a current year thing? Good Lord. Then Strevens broke the news that Chibnall took on the role of showrunner on the basis that the gender of the Doctor would be changed for the first time in the show's history. So nobody at the BBC had the inclination to ask why this was the only possibility he was considering. Of course not. The Doctor has always been a white British male, and we all know what the BBC thinks about straight white males that are not part of the upper pompous class. Quote, once Peter had decided he was leaving, really, did he decide, or did you politely prod him so you could push your agenda? The next Doctor was always going to be female. That's what Chris wanted. That was part of the conditions of doing the job. Well then, find somebody else. Find somebody who is going to focus on good stories and not agendas to prove how superior to everyone else he is. But again, who cares if it flops? It's no longer about quality. It's about getting your message across. This is just depressing. And that's it for today. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and check out my second channel, Bullstrek Media, for technology and Blu-ray videos. And as always, everyone, thank you for watching and have a great day.